Hi everyone! Ako nga pala si Miss Rose at welcome sa aking Campus Journalism Series kung saan mag-share ako ng mga tips at lectures tungkol sa mga categories ng Campus Journalism. For today, we will be discussing about photojournalism. But before anything else, disclaimer lang po. I do not own the entire slides and lecture that I used in this video. Some of the photos were taken by my students and me, and some were taken from the lectures and seminars that I have attended. Credit goes to Engineer Herman Lagon, Mr. Alvin Hizon, and Mr. Jimmy Domingo. Yan, so mahalaga yung papel na ginagampanan ng mga photojournalists sa bawat school paper. Yan, so sila kasi yung nagka-capture ng mga images, ng mga photos kapag may school events or activities. Yan. So, mahalaga rin na mai-record or makuhanan ng mga litrato or makuhanan ng mga larawan ang bawat school event para ma-preserve ito. Yan. So, ano nga ba ang photojournalism? Let's define photography first. So, may kaibahan yung photography sa photojournalism. Photography is the art of or practice of taking and processing photographs or simply capturing or taking pictures. While photojournalism is the art or practice of communicating news by photographs. So, sa photojournalism, mayroong issue, mayroong balita. Yan, mayroong ipinapahatid na mensahe ang isang photojournalist sa pamamagitan ng kanyang larawan. Yan, gaya ng larawan na to, ayan, nakinunan ni Alec Espino, tumatalakay siya sa issue ng paninigarilyo. Ayon naman kay Sir Manuel Zacarias, photojournalism is about taking photos, exposing people and their situation. So, tungkol sa tao. Ayan, so ano ba yung nagaganap sa buhay ng mga tao? So through photojournalism, we learn to know more about people, about their ways, and how they are affected by the things that happen in our society. Okay, so first we have to know the digital camera. So ito yung main ingredient. You cannot be a photojournalist if you don't have a camera. Yan. So, talakayin na rin natin ang ilan sa mga basic photography concepts na dapat ninyong malaman. According to the RSPC 2025 guidelines, which is also based on the NSPC guidelines, photojournalism contestants shall use point-and-shoot digital single-lens reflex camera, yan, just like this one, 18 to 55 millimeter f3.5 to 5.6 lens. Maximum of 24.3 megapixels. So before hindi allowed yung DSLR camera, pero ngayon allowed na siya but only those na hindi natatanggal yung lens. Yan. So yung mga high-end higher specs cameras, they are not allowed to use. Also the mirrorless cameras. Yan. So, digital camera just like this one or yung much smaller DSLR camera. Okay, so let's learn the parts of the camera. So, first we have the lens. So, pinakamahalagang bahagi ng camera. Sa kanya kasi pumapasok yung ilaw at siyang nagka-capture ng mga images. Then we have the bud. So, ito yung ating nahahawakan na part na camera. Then, we have the shutter release button. So, yung shutter release button, ayan. So, yun yung pindutan natin kapag magte-take na tayo ng picture. Pag pinindutan natin yung shutter release button, mag-o-open yung lens, bubukas siya, then mag-close ulit. Yan. And then, it will capture the image. Then, we have the shutter speed. Okay, yung shutter speed, siya naman yung bilis ng pagbukas at pagsara ng shutter, camera shutter, para makapasok yung ilaw. Yan, sa lens. Yan. Then we have the aperture. So yung aperture, ito naman yung laki ng um, pagbukas ng shutter. So para siyang mata. Kumbaga sa mata, pag nag-open siyang ganyan, tapos magko-close ulit. So that's when the photo is being captured. Yan. So mas malaki yung aperture, mas maliit yung butas or mas maliit yung bukas nung nung shutter. Yan. Tapos mas maliit na aperture, mas malaki naman. Mas malaki naman yung pagbukas niya. Okay, so yung aperture, mahalaga siya kasi it affects the image's exposure. So kapag mas malaki yung opening, mas maraming ilaw yung papasok. Naapektuhan ng aperture yung sharpness ng image natin. Then we have the ISO. So ISO refers to the sensitivity of the camera sensor sa light. Yan. So, kapag in-adjust natin yung ISO, the higher the ISO, the more sensitive the image sensor is. As you can see in the sample photo, mas mababa yung ISO, mas malinaw yung picture, konti yung noise. Then, pag naman mataas, we can use the higher ISO sa mga madidilim na lugar. Yan. Kaya lang, maraming noise. No, maraming noise or grains yung picture. Now we have the depth of field. So depth of field refers to the distance or yung saklaw na malinaw na kuha. Yan. So in this example, it is what we call shallow depth of field. Kung saan yung isang part ay or yung subject ay malinaw and then around it nagiging blur yung paligid niya. So, shallow depth of field. Kapag naman deep depth of field, malinaw lahat. Yung, pati yung nasa likod, pati yung subject sa harap. Okay? Then we have the memory card. So, hindi dapat malimutan ang memory card kapag may competition. Dito kasi natin i-store or i-save ang ating mga pictures. Yan, bago siya i-transfer sa laptop or computer. Okay, the LCD screen. The LCD screen is like the mini TV of the camera where we can view the photos that we have just taken. Ayan, so yung flash. So you can also use flash in your photos, lalo na kapag madilim yung lugar at kailangan mo ng ilaw. Then we have the user control. So ito yung mga pinipindot natin kung gusto natin na gamitin yung isang feature ng ating camera. Okay, so what are the functions of pictures? So, pictures attract attention. Ayan, di ba? Kapag, just like when we are choosing a book to read, di ba? Tinitingnan natin yung cover. Pag maganda yung illustration, we might be interested in buying that book. So, same as sa journalism. Ayan, sa school paper. Pag nakita natin maganda yung larawan or yung picture, lalo na sa front page, so may engganyo tayong basahin or bilhin yung newspaper na yon. To tell a story. So sa bawat larawan ay may kwento na nakapaloob dito. Pwedeng tungkol ito sa pagsisikap ng isang manggagawa o ng isang magulang na itaguyod ang kanilang pamilya. Pwede rin naman ito tungkol sa joy ng pagiging isang estudyante. Yan. So, every picture has a story. To give visual relief to the design or makeup of the story. Ang mga larawan ay nagiging susi para mas maintindihan natin yung ating binasa. Balita man ito or lathalain. What makes a good photo? Yan. So first, simplicity. Yan, simple lang, walang masyadong makalat or maraming elements or maraming bagay na nakapaloob. Focal point. So there is something na binibigyan ng importansya or ng focus. Action. So nararamdaman natin yung sitwasyon, no, yung yung tense, yung tension ng isang event through the action, no? Through the movement, no, of the player. So, sa journalism, mas na-appreciate yung pictures na may action, no? May movement, not just still photos like class pictures or like yung sabi nga nila ay firing squad. Okay, so there should be a subject. So the subject can be a person or an animal. Ayan, so kailangan kapag kukuha tayo ng photo ay may tao. So do not take pictures of pictures. So kung halimbawa gusto mong kunan yung mga yung nasa bulletin board ng inyong paaralan, hintayin mo na mayroong tao na dumaan or mayroong tao na tumingin at saka ka magpicture. So, sa mga photojournalism entries, dapat ay mayroong kayong subject. Ayan, timeliness. So, ibig sabihin napapanahon. So, kapag yung picture kasi na napapanahon or naaayon sa kung ano yung issue ngayon, mas nakaka-relate or mas nagiging interesante para sa mga tumitingin nito. So, halimbawa, dito sa example natin, ito ay tungkol sa fumigation. Yan, dahil sa dengue. Sa pagkalat ng mga lamok na nagdadala ng dengue. Yan. So, dengue mosquitoes. Okay? Ayan. So, there is mood. Ayan. So, may emotion. Whether it is happiness, sadness, excitement. Mas interesting tingnan ang isang larawan na puno ng emosyon. Okay. Technical quality. So, um, malinaw, no? May malinaw yung picture or malinaw yung photo, walang blurred. So, like in this, meron tayong focus or focal point. Yan. So, shallow depth of field. Okay? So, maganda yung larawan at hindi siya malabo. Okay, so prominence. Mas nagiging mas interesting din sa mga tao kapag ang tao na kinunan ay kilala or mayroong posisyon, let's say sa gobyerno or sa paaralan or sa institusyon. Okay, pag-usapan naman natin ang mga camera composition like the shots, angles, and movement. Yan. So, meron tayong tinatawag na long shot or wide shot. So, ito yung may subject, tapos kita natin yung kanyang background. Yan. So, na-identify natin kung nasaan yung subject. Okay, so that's a long shot. Then we have the extreme wide shot. So ito naman ay meron ding subject pero masyado siyang malayo at masyadong malawak yung sakop ng larawan, no? Yung nakuhanan ng larawan. Okay? Then we have the medium shot. So medium shot ay hanggang dito sa waist. Yan, waist pataas. So or tawag nga natin ay half body. Okay, medium close-up. So, mas malapit siya mula sa chest pataas. The close-up, so mas malapit na siya dun sa part ng body. Like, you want to focus on the person's face. Ayan, close-up. Close-up shot. Kapag ginamit natin ang close-up shot, nakaka-capture natin yung emotion ng subject. Then, we have the extreme close-up. Pag gusto nating i-focus yung isa lang na part ng body ng isang tao or isang bahagi ng let's say ng produkto, ayan, lalapit natin masyado yung ating camera. So this is over the shoulder shot kung saan yung kumukuha ng larawan ay nasa likod ng isang or over the shoulder. Ayan, nasa likod ng isa sa mga kinukunan niya habang nakatalikod siya. Ginagamit ang shot na to sa mga interviews at saka kapag gusto mong i-focus yung mukha ng isa sa iyong subject. Ayan. Okay, then we have the camera angles. So first we have the straight angle. So straight angle, straight lang siya. Yan. So, sa pantay sa mata ng subject. Tapos, kalimitan siyang ginagamit sa mga TV broadcasting shot sa anchor. Yan. Okay, then we have the eye level. So, kung nasaan yung mata ng ating subject, papantay tayo doon. So, kung matangkad siya, tataas tayo. Kung medyo mababa siya, yan, yuyuko tayo ng konti para maipantay natin sa mata ng subject. Eye level. Okay, then we have the side angle or side view. Yan. So, naka 45-degree angle yung subject. Yan. Okay, low angle. So, mababa yung camera. So, pwede natin itong ma-achieve kung tayo ay uupo, luluhod, o kaya naman kung nasa mababa tayong lugar. Yan. So, kapag ginamit natin ang low angle, ipinapahayag nito na yung ating kinukunan ng litrato ay powerful. Malimit ginagamit ang low angle sa mga sports photography. Yan. Lalo na sa mga action shots. And then, kapag din kapag din yung grupo, let's say meron tayong kinukunan na group of people, tapos hindi pantay-pantay yung height nila, merong maliit, merong matangkad. So, you can use the low angle siya para yung height differences nila mabawasan ng konti. Okay, then we have the high angle. So, mataas naman yung camera. So, pwedeng yung photojournalist, tutungtong siya, let's say sa upuan, o kaya naman pupunta siya sa mas mataas na lugar, then dun siya magpipicture. So, kapag ginagamit natin ang high angle shot, so tayo naman yung powerful. So, yung ating kinukunan ang medyo less powerful or smaller. Yan. Then we have the Dutch angle. So, pag Dutch angle, naka-tilt or nakaslant yung camera. So, medyo yan. So, kapag halimbawa may nahulog, ayan, pwede nating gamitin ang Dutch angle. Yan. So, naka-tilt. So, yun, pag sinabing tilt, yung camera natin nakahilig. So, pwedeng, para yan, sabi nga parang yes, no? So, yung camera natin, ayan, halimbawa this one, so, nakahilig siyang ganyan. Yan. Or like this. It can be like this or like that. Okay? Ayan. So, this is bird's eye shot. So, actually, hindi siya masyadong bird's eye shot. Ano lang yan? Butterfly shot. Butterfly shot. Okay. So, pag sinabing bird's eye shot, kapag gusto mong i-establish yung buong lugar, tapos gusto mong i-describe anong nangyayari sa buong lugar na yun. Let's say sa buong school o kaya sa buong bayan. So, bird's eye shot. Sobrang taas ng camera. Yan. Kumbaga ay sa mata ng isang ibon. So, you imagine how high the bird can be. Yan. Just to look at somebody or to look at the people or the sceneries below. Yan. So, you can use bird's eye shot. You can go to the 4th floor or higher building and then take a photo. Okay. So, yung kabaliktaran ng bird's eye shot ay worm's eye shot. So, sa mata naman ng isang uod. So, yung mga photojournalists, you can achieve this through going down, yan, bababa kayo, minsan dadapa kayo, o kaya yung camera mismo, lalagay nyo sa ground or sa floor. Yan, tapos ititilt nyo pataas. Yan, worm's eye shot. So, we use this kind of shot to indicate that our subject is so powerful, like a giant. Okay, so one of the principles, ayan, in photojournalism is balancing element. So, kapag kumukuha tayo ng picture, hindi naman, it is not always in the center. No? So, hindi laging sa center. So, we can put the subject at the side para ma-emphasize yung kanyang, let's say, yung kanyang background. Yan. Pero, kapag yung subject lang ay nasa side, tapos walang other things na makikita dun let's say sa left side. So parang hindi pantay or parang mas mabigat sa isang side. So, you should balance. No? Kailangan meron pa rin isang element na papantay. Yan. So, just like this example. So, one element in the left, one element at the right. Okay. Then we have leading line. So, minsan kapag tumitingin tayo sa picture, nadadirect yung ating mga mata ng mga linya. Yan. So, sumusunod tayo dun sa linya. Okay. Okay, so symmetry and pattern. So you can also use these principles in photojournalism. Symmetry. Maganda yung symmetry kasi may balance, no? Pantay yung yung larawan. Kapag tiniklop mo yung picture, para siyang same, no? Parang nagsasalamin. Yan. Pero sometimes pwede siyang maging pwede siyang maging good thing, pwede ring hindi. Kasi sometimes walang it's not that very interesting, no? Kapag sobrang parehong-pareho yung left and right. No? So there should be something that is different, no? That to make that photo interesting. Okay, so yung pattern naman. So when we say pattern, that's the repetition of shapes, lines, and colors. So kapag ganyan, sa mga organized na tao, gustong-gusto nila yan, yung sunod-sunod yung pattern. No, may pattern yung picture, like left, right, yan. Look at like these examples, yan, left, right, left, right, left, right. For boys, for girls. Yan. But sometimes, when you break the pattern, that's what makes the photo more interesting. So just like this example, 'di ba? Lahat ng mga students naka-stand straight sila, naka-stand up straight sila. And then may isang, yan, si ate girl, yan, bigla siya nag-pose. Bigla siya nag-pose ng ganyan. So, it made the photo interesting. Kapag nabe-break yung pattern, yan, nagiging interesting yung photo. Zoom. You can use the zoom in, zoom out picture of your camera. Yan kasi 'di ba may mga instances na hindi niyo kayo pwedeng lumapit sa subject, like pag may performance o kaya kapag may game, so hindi naman kayo pwedeng lumapit dun sa mga naglalaro or let's say nagba-basketball or nagsasayaw para kuhanan niyo sila ng picture. So sometimes you can use zoom in or zoom out. Okay, then we have the rule of thirds. So yung rule of thirds, so if you will divide the photo into 3 lines, yan, or there should be elements in those intersecting lines, no? Yung mga lines na nagmi-meet. Yung mata kasi natin, nadadirect siya dun sa intersecting lines na yan. So just like this one. So hindi lagi dapat nasa gitna yung subject. So you follow the rule of thirds. Ayan. Dun siya sa side. No? So, sa line, sa the rule of thirds. And then, look at the other example. Yung mata ng B, di ba, sumakto siya dun sa intersecting lines. Yan. So, kasi yung normally talaga, yung mata natin, parang drawn tayo dun sa intersecting lines na yon. So, the photo became interesting then kasi yun nga, tumama dun sa thirds, sa rule of thirds, yung matanong. Okay, so there should be enough headroom in our photos. Ayan, so dito, yan, kailangan hindi mapuputol yung ulo ng ating subject. Yan, so it will become distracting or very awkward to look at the photo with wherein the head is cut, no? So, ayan, make sure na mayroon laging space, no, dito sa ulo. Okay, so frame, ayan. So, kailangan din, i-frame natin yung subject natin. Ayan. So, like, in the first example, very, extreme wide shot siya, di ba? Kaya lang, hindi naman natin kailangan yung yung nasa paligid. So, ang ating subject, it would be better if it is focused on the three boys. Yan. So, you can move closer and take their photo. Okay, leading looks. So, kung saan nakatingin yung ating subject, dapat nandun din ang mas malaking space. Yan. So, para hindi siya mukhang nahuulog. Kapag, let's say, itong ating subject ay nakaharap sa left, di ba? So, kung halimbawa na yung space ay nandito sa likod niya, para siyang mahuhulog. Yan. So, dapat, kung nasaan yung leading looks, nandoon ang space no, ng photo. Okay, level horizon. So, always make sure na yung horizon, pantay siya. Yan. So, kapag slanting kasi, very distracting siya. No? Hindi siya, parang hindi siya normal. Yan, kapag tiningnan. So, always level the horizon. Or always keep the horizon level. Okay, framing. So, you can use framing in your photos. Hanap kayo ng mga um, items or elements sa nature, yan, sa environment, na pwedeng magkulong dun sa inyong subject. Na parang lalagyan nyo sila ng frame or ikukulong nyo sila sa isang frame. Yan, just like this one. So, yung arch, nagmukha siyang frame. Okay, so be mindful also of the background. Yan, baka may mga items sa background na magiging awkward tingnan along with your subject. Halimbawa, may sanga pala ng puno sa likod na mukha siyang sungay, no, kapag tiningnan with your subject. So, like this one naman, mukha siyang may crown or headdress, no, na leaves. So, adjust kayo or it's either you ask your subject to move a little or kayo na or as the photographer or the photojournalist, kayo yung mag-adjust. Tayo yung or ikaw yung maglilipat ng pwesto. Okay? Okay, so this is silhouette shot. Yan, kapag yung subject ay naging black. Yan, kasi mas nasa likod yung yung light. Okay, you can also use mirror shot. Yan, kung saan hanap kayo ng salamin. Yan, pwedeng ganyan. So parang para silang dalawang tao pero nananalamin lang siya. So you can also use the mirror like yung subject nyo ay pipicturean nyo through a mirror. Okay, so these are some tips yan for us to be able to take good photos. First, know your camera. Ayan. So, dapat, if you are going to join the photojournalism contest, meron kayong sariling camera. Ayan. So, tapos, you explore your camera. Kung ano yung kaya niyang gawin, yung mga features niya. Check nyo yung ISO, yung aperture. Ayan. So, it's better that you really know your camera kasi ma-maximize nyo yung capacity or yung paggamit nyo ng camera. Yan. Para masanay din kayo sa paggamit ng inyong camera. Okay, find the best angle. Ayan. So, you do whatever it takes no, to get a clear shot, to get a good shot of the subject. So, if you can move to the, let's say, higher place or tutungtong ka sa chair para makakuha ka ng magandang angulo, yan, you do it. So, kung kinakailangang lumuhod ka or dumapa ka, yan, para makakuha ka ng best angle. Yan. Okay, learn to control the flash. Ayan. So, a lot of people think that flash is only used kapag madilim. Though it's totoo naman, no? So, kapag madilim yung isang lugar, we use the flash no to make our photo clearer, yan, and brighter. Yan. So, pero may mga photographers din na kahit mainit or kahit maliwanag sa labas, ginagamit din nila yung flash yung para mas makapture nila yung subject. Lalo na kapag sobrang liwanag or against the light yung kanilang subject. Minsan naman, you don't use the flash. Yan. Kasi kapag ginamit mo pa yung flash, um, sobrang nababago niya yung color ng skin ng subject. Okay, so it depends. So you can use or you may not use the flash. Okay, play with the macro mode or gamitin yung macro mode. So ito yung sa ibang mga cameras, yan yung kanyang symbol. So you can use the macro mode to achieve the shallow depth of field. Yan. Para yung mapofocus mo yung iyong subject tapos yung sa paligid niya ay blurred. Okay, wait for the decisive moment. So, ang decisive moment, ito yung pinaka-exciting or pinaka-mahalagang part, no? Let's say yung sa action ng isang subject. Kunyari, speaker or kukunan mo ng picture yung nag speech. So, wag mo siyang kukunan ng picture na nakaganyan lang siya. So, hintayin mong gumalaw yung kamay niya. Like, gumanon siya, kaya nagturo siyang ganyan, o kaya nagganyan siya. So, bago mo i-click yung camera. So, wait for the decisive moment. Sa mga presentations naman, advantage kapag napapanood mo yung practice ng mga dance presentation. Kasi, alam mo kung kailan yung interesting na part. Let's say, etong part na to, lahat sila tataas ng kamay or lahat sila magpo-pose ng maganda. So, yun ang pwede mong picturean. So, yan. Kapag alam mo na ihahagis yung isang dancer, so naka-ready ka na. So, that's the decisive moment. Okay? Okay, use the tripod. Ayan. So, yung tripod kasi para steady. Ayan. So, if you have steady hands, so, you might not need a tripod. But, to be sure, ayan. Okay, have enough memory capacity. So, before you go to the competition, make sure that your memory cards are um, empty or there's still enough space. Yan. And if you can, you bring extra. Yan. Just in case na merong hindi magandang mangyari or unexpected na pangyayari. So at least you have an extra. With all these principles, it boils down to this question. What makes a powerful image? Or how can we take or what makes a winning picture or a winning photo. Yan. So, if you can make the viewer pause, reflect, and remember. Yan. So, yung meron silang mararamdaman at meron silang maaalala, meron silang matututunan from your picture. Yan, yung mapapa-second look sila. Yung yung babalikan nila yung picture mo para tingnan pa ang maigi. So, just like this one, yan, from Sir Jimmy Domingo. So, in this photo, you might find it funny kasi yung girl, yan, sinusuklayan niya yung woman, no, who is bald. Yan. So, mapapatawa tayo kasi, ay, bakit niya sinusuklayan? Kalbo. Yan. So, but, in the caption, mababasa natin na siya pala, or yung mother pala niya ay may sakit. Yan, may cancer. That moment became a bonding moment, no, from the mother and daughter. Okay, so that picture, ayan, di ba medyo nakaka-touch, ayan, di ba medyo mapapaisip yung titingin. Ayan. Okay, so let's go to captions. So, minsan, ang mga pictures ay misrepresented or misinterpreted. So, para maiwasan yon na ma-misinterpret yung mga photos, we have to explain through captions. Yan. Okay, so they say that photojournalism is a combination of photography plus text and captions, or striking images and artistic techniques plus data info and gathering. So, high quality images and text is equal to news value. So, without the captions, the picture may not stand alone. So there are pictures that can explain itself, but or most of the times, you need the captions to explain what is happening in the photo. Yeah, so this is the formula for writing captions. Yeah, so we have the noun, the verb with the direct object. And then you will write the event name, the noun location, the city, the day of the week, month, day, year, and then the why or the how. Yeah, so and then we have the sample caption. I have here a sample of a photo with caption. So, let's observe first this photo. Ayan. Ito yung mga information about that. Merong isang senior citizen, yan yung lalaki, tapos yung asawa niya. So, this photo is taken or in the election day. Yan, at Magat Salamat Elementary School, Tondo, Manila. So, yes sir. Kunyari, yesterday yung election day. Then the additional info or background, 6 a.m. nag-start yung election, and then the election returns turned out to be 263,785 out of 377,606 registered voters. So, 263,000 yung bumoto out of the 377 registered voters. So, if we will write the caption, it will be like this. A senior citizen is assisted by his wife at the Magat Salamat Elementary School in Tondo, Manila yesterday. They were among the early voters at the voting precinct that opened as early as 6 o'clock a.m. Among the 377,606 registered voters in Tondo, Manila, 263,785 cast their votes during the 2019 midterm election. And then we have the source of the photo. Okay, so in the first sentence, you tell or you describe what is happening in the photo. So nandun na yung who, what, when, where, and how. Yan. And then, the second and the third photo, these are additional information. Yan. Additional information about the event, no? About the news. You can write your captions in at least 2 sentences. So, 2 sentences, okay na yon. Pero if you can make it 3 or 4 sentences, that will be better. Okay? So, this will be the rubrics for judging or grading your photojournalism entries. So we have the technical quality, creativity and communicative quality, 2 sentence news caption, and then the ethics. So ano ba yung ethics? Okay, so we have the ethics in photojournalism. So these are the guidelines that for the ethics in photojournalism. So first, be accurate and comprehensive in the representation of subject. So, make sure na yung subjects natin ay tama yung information na ating ilalagay sa caption. Tama yung pangalan niya, spelling ng pangalan, yan, at accurate. So, kung ano talaga yung nangyayari at kung ano talaga yung nasa picture, yun lang dapat ang nakalagay sa caption. Okay, no to staged photos. Ayan. So actually itong staging photos, nangyayari yan. Nangyayari yan. Pero syempre, halata kasi no kapag medyo ni-direct natin yung yung ating subject na tingin ka dito, ayan, ganyan. So it's up to the photojournalist how to make their photos natural. Yan. So iba kasi yung result kapag natural, candid, yan, at hindi staged yung photos. Okay, editing should maintain the integrity of the photographic images, content, and context. Okay, so hindi naman wala namang time para mag-edit, 'di ba? Yung kapag nasa photojournalism contest tayo. Pero kapag nag-edit tayo for the school paper, yan, so we should not edit the photo na may iba na siya from the original. Yan. So, kailangan, kung i-edit natin, it's just the brightness, the contrast, or kung ika-crop natin siya. Yan. Pero yung sa mga sa mga photojournalism contest, individual category, we do not usually edit the photo that we are going to submit. treat all subjects with respect and dignity. Okay. So, dapat yung mga subject natin, hindi sila malalagay sa isang alanganin na sitwasyon. Like, papagtatawanan sila or magmumukha silang katawa-tawa or kahiya-hiya. So, kapag may ganun tayong mga photos, wag na natin siyang ipasa or wag na natin siyang piliin. So, dapat ang ating subjects, they are treated with respect. And, of course, we have to ask permission. Yan. If we want to take photos of them, we want to interview them, you ask permission. Especially sa mga bata or yung minors, yan, you have to get the consent of the parents. Yan. Kasi meron tayong Data Privacy Act kung saan pinoprotection na nito yung mga tao or especially mga bata na makuhanan ng litrato nang hindi nila gusto or hindi nila alam or wala silang permiso. Okay? Kasama na rin yun sa ethics in photojournalism. Okay, respect the integrity of the photographic moment. Ayan, so kung ano yung nangyayari, yun talaga yung isusulat mo sa caption. So you should not make up stories about the subject or about the situation in the photo. So um, you just report what is happening. Okay? That ends our lecture or lesson in photojournalism. So thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow my page, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Up next, yan, part 2 of this session or of this series is um, yung training. No? So I will show you how we conduct training in our school. Samahan nyo kami sa aming photo shoot sa susunod na video. Bye everyone and see you around.